Right, let's give this a go, shall we? This is episode 1, documenting my journey to becoming an Ironman. For those of you that don't know, an Ironman is broken up into a 3.8k swim, followed by a 180k bike ride, and then finished off by a 26.2 mile run. I'm not sure why I've changed to miles there, but it's big. It is in Portugal, Cascais, October 17th this year. To tell you the truth, it's not really been something I've ever thought about doing until this year, but now that I've started, I cannot wait to do it. And this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so I thought it would be a really good thing to document, so both I can look back on it myself, and also others that are maybe interested themselves see the journey and the process that goes on behind the scenes. And hopefully it can stop my mum asking what actually is an Ironman. Just watch this. Now, the reason I wanted to document this is because, as much as I love posting shorter form content on my Instagram, I really wanted to give a true behind the scenes insight into what is actually happening when I am not behind the camera, even though I'll still be behind the camera. Those of you who know me a little better, Rachel, my wife, and I have taken a year out of our jobs to travel the world, also put a little bit more time into your online fitness coaching business at the same time. So I thought, why not just throw YouTube in there? I know these videos won't be of expert level, but the only way to get started is just getting started, so this is what this is. Now, I've already got some interesting challenges over the next few months that I thought would be really interesting to show you how I'm navigating that at the same time as training for the Ironman. I've got a boys golf trip, which is finally making it out of the chat in the next few weeks. Rachel and I are travelling America and Canada, and I will also have my first ever triathlon, trying to get me more used to that race feel. Truthfully, this only came across my radar when my brother-in-law told me he was doing this, and it was going to be a couple of weeks before my brother's wedding. I always loved the idea of doing something completely out of my comfort zone once again at some point. I just never knew when. So when my brother-in-law told me he was doing this, I thought, I'm doing it with you. And being that competitive, I just thought, I can't sit at that wedding with him flashing that medal and I've not got one myself. That sounds really bad. My life has very much been based around playing as much sports as possible and training in the gym for a mixture of fitness, lifestyle, strength, physique, and this Ironman is obviously just completely left field to any of those goals I've had so far. So when I was younger, it was very much rugby, tennis, football, and then kind of in the last 8 years, it has just been football, playing with my mates. The team folded last season, so to be quite honest, I was going down a shaky road, only playing golf, and I thought that was me for the rest of my life. As good as that sounds, I just thought I need something a little bit more. I chose Portugal. It was kind of by chance, if you like. I was hoping to do the same one he was doing, Barcelona. I've been told it's a really good starter for anyone who's never done an Ironman before. It's nice and flat and calm. However, there was no tickets for that left, so I had to jump on the only other one that I seen was available, which was Portugal, Cascais, which I've been told is absolutely stunning. You go into the water at sunrise and you finish when it's dark. But since then, I've also been told it is pretty hilly, so I'll need to be training for that. For anyone who thinks that I have started off having an ability to swim, ride a bike, running I've always been pretty good at, but the other two I have not put in any effort or training up until this last couple of months. I have not swam properly since lessons when I was a wee boy. Bike, it's the exact same situation. I know for those who have watched my Instagram stories and Instagram posts over the last couple of months, this is the case, because I can't tell you how many times I've either fallen off the bike or almost spewed as I've been trying to swim either in the pool or in the sea. In terms of when I started training for this Ironman, I technically started around end of November, start of December, but that was more because I heard my brother-in-law was doing it, and I thought, right, I want to see if this is something that's actually within my ability or capabilities. So I started to get in the pool. I got on the bike. I think most I done was like half an hour on the bike, and I think I done maybe like 30 lengths in the pool. Somehow thinking that that was a good indication that I could do an Ironman. I don't know what I was thinking. The proper journey of training started in January, where I have been following a program with a mixture of trying to fit that alongside my everyday life so that I don't burn out and just kind of get fed up with the whole journey and ultimately stop and give up. I've spoken to so many guys who are currently training for one themselves just now or have done one in the past, and it can be so overwhelming trying to work out what is best for me. Because on one hand, you've got guys who are doing like 3 bike sessions, 3 swim sessions, and a couple of runs every single week. And then on the other hand, you've got some guys saying, I'll just do one of them each week. So trying to find a middle ground where I don't burn myself out too much. And then on the other hand, doing this Ironman justice and putting my absolute all into it. As of right now, my training currently looks like 1 swim session, which is usually between 2 and 3K in the pool. On the bikes, I am doing 2 sessions, so it's a shorter drill session in the gym, usually around an hour and a half. And then at the weekend, I'll try and get out on the bike on the road, especially with the better weather coming in, and I'll try and go out for about 3 hours and try and get as much distance covered as possible. And the running, I'm trying to get out once a week just now, being mindful of some past knee injuries that I've picked up through football, etc. And I'm trying to do that in a way that I don't just, like I said, get injuries a couple of months in and then I have to stop. I have, however, ticked off a couple of big milestones for myself. I managed to swim around 1K when Rachel and I were in Malaga, and this was in the sea for the first time. I was doing all right in the pool, and I thought that would transfer a little bit better to the sea. Wasn't quite the case, but it was a massive milestone, and I'm really proud of that one. The second one was joining a triathlon team. I've always loved being part of a team, no matter what sport it is, and I think being part of a group who are already levels above you, you can learn so much so quickly and almost fast track your learning just being in amongst that crowd. And the third milestone that I've ticked off was getting out on the roads last weekend, which was so enjoyable and so much better than staring at 4 walls in the gym trying to do 3 hours on a stationary watt bike. At the start of this, I thought I had an idea about what I was going to get out of it. I thought I would have an idea about what I was going to achieve. I thought I would know what was happening to my body. However, as the longer this process goes on, I'm trying to kind of remove any expectations that I do have. Try and just enjoy the journey. I know that can sound easier said than done. It can sound a bit cliche, but if I'm looking back at anything I've ever done in the past, the day itself of whatever I was training for was amazing. But the bit I remember the most, or the bit I enjoyed the most, was the training process, whether it was meeting up with friends, trying new challenges, feeling like I was in the moment, experiencing a whole concoction of emotions at that time. That's the very things that I remember. I think it can become so easy to kind of wish time away. What I'm hoping is getting to Portugal, getting to that starting line, I'm hoping is going to feel like a celebration of all the training and all the hard work that I've put in. I know I'm going to feel sick, I know I'm going to feel anxious, nervous. That's going to be there regardless. But simply getting to that starting line will be such an achievement, and I'm trying to remind myself that. Now, this was just a little insight, trying to give you a little behind the scenes of where I was, where I am just now, and where I'm going. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. Even though I'm fairly certain the only people who are going to be watching this is my mum, Rachel, and even my immediate friends and family. If you did watch it and you enjoyed it, either like, subscribe, or message me on Instagram at ReachRonan to let me know your thoughts. This was episode 1, documenting my journey to becoming an Ironman. Hope you enjoyed it.